and welcome back to yet another episode of the Comics Run the World TikTok. Not TikTok. Jesus, I already messed up.
Comics Run the World TikTok.
Comics Run the World podcast episode. New episode today. Just pretend like nothing of that ever happened, but new episode today. Comics Run the World. As always, I'm your host Mateo, and like in every other episode, I'm accompanied by
Frankie. Yeah, welcome to our TikTok.
Welcome to our how's it going? What you got posed this question every time. What you reading, playing, watching? How's just life in general?
It's pretty good. Pretty much getting over COVID still, but doing good. But
Awesome.
Actually, besides the two comics we read for this, I feel like I've taken like a week-long hiatus from reading comics because I've been really obsessed with. I've been playing Dark Souls 3, and I've just been doing that. Really, it's been awesome. But that changed last night. I got back to reading. I'm on like the second half of Mark Waid's Daredevil.
Okay, that's sick.
And I found out that I don't know if I've already said this. I don't think I have. I thought I had read Mark Waid's Daredevil, but I had only read the second portion of it because in the middle of his run, they do the Marvel Now rebrand, where everything kind of wasn't like a reboot, but everything just kind of got a new #1 and was a new, so that's what I had read. I had read his Marvel Now #1 through. I didn't know he had stuff before it. So I read all the stuff before it. It's really great. Some of it's tied into this. It's between Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil, and you read a Daredevil issue, then it's now go read the next Punisher issue. And I hate when they do that stuff. I hate when it's and that part was messy, but besides that, the whole run that I had never read, the part of it was really good. So
that's cool. Speaking of things we just read, I just finished reading not the Fourth World, but New Gods by Jack Kirby, the trade paperback. Very good. I love it a lot. I posted a review on League of Comic Geeks, which you guys, people who are listening, should give us a follow on there.
5 star? 5 star?
Oh yeah, 5 star. Easy 5 star. Even if, I already read it, but then just rereading it, taking my time with it, I was like, this is great. So I was happy reading it, and it was great. It was a great time.
Nice.
Yeah. So today we got a comic to review from our miniseries wheel from last time. We are reviewing The Underwater Welder by Jeff Lemire. So if you guys haven't heard of this it's more like a graphic novel. If you guys haven't heard about this comic/graphic novel, let me give you a brief description that they have on the Comic Geeks. The all-new literary masterpiece from the creator of Essex County is finally here. As an underwater welder on an oil rig off the coast of Nova Scotia, Jack Joseph is used to the immense pressures of deep-sea work. Nothing, however, could prepare him for the pressures of impending fatherhood. Ooh. As Jack dives deeper and deeper, he seems to pull further and further away from his young wife and their unborn son. But then something happens deep on the ocean floor. Jack has a strange and mind-bending encounter that will change the course of his life forever. Impressive. So this is obviously written and drawn by Jeff Lemire, and the person who did the lettering is Steve Wands. He did a pretty good job of the lettering, if I say so myself. It was really interesting, very unique. I loved it a lot. So this is my second time reading this, so I kind of want to get your first impressions on what you thought about this comic, because I always speak super highly of it. It's one of my favorites of all time, but I just want to get your opinion on what do you think about it?
It's definitely really, really, really good. The art is very unique. It's not personally something I would ever see and ooh, I love that. But I think it really fits the mood of the comic. It really fits this comic book like for what it's going for.
Yeah.
So while it's not something I would traditionally like really like, I thought it was perfect here.
I mean, yeah, there's like many moments where like both when there's like a big splash, like a full page landscape picture drawing of like the scenery, what's going on, like him like at the docks or just him like underwater. Is really interesting, and I like how they do it. And I feel like with Jeff Lemire's artwork, it really helps like amplify and like kind of more resonate to the character in this scenario is Jack. Just like have it like a more personal touch to it, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that.
When I read this, I was trying to think of who else could have drawn this that would have the same effect as what Jeff Lemire did with his drawing of the story. I really couldn't think of anything or anyone. But I thought it's just like it encapsulates everything that's like going on in the story, and he has his own unique touch to it. I think through and through the story.
Yeah, it does make the story feel like very personal since the art is very like I don't know. I don't want this to sound like an insult, but it just sounds like very like homemade. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't feel professional. Like that sounds mean, but like but I don't know. It's very like sketchy.
yeah,
Um, in some ways, it seems almost like it's not finished, but I mean that in like a very positive way.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Because
I
like
think it fits.
in like a lot of sense, and like, if you talk about the art like that to any other artist, it would seem like a like it's like a negative thing. But like in this sense, it like amplifies the story and like how personal the story is for the character itself, and possibly even for Jeff Lemire himself.
I do think the landscapes look amazing.
Yeah,
It's kind of just more like the finer details, like the faces. They're just a bit more like sketchy and rough, but I definitely think it's intentional and it really works.
yeah. There's some. Also, speaking of the layout of everything, there are some parts where it's either the last six panels or just like a couple panels that have like the landscape, but it's still behind the panel. It's not like a full clean like image. Like for example, there's this one part where it's just Jack sitting down and like the panels are like going through him like he's like still like in prison with like his past, because that's basically what he's dealing with in the story is like his past, how it's like he's still chasing the past, and how basically everyone around him is affected by what Jack is going through and what he's trying to like solve, as in like why did his dad disappear, like where'd he go, like how did he die and stuff like that. So it's very interesting how they did like the panel work and like in the sense of like not only using the dialogue and the artwork to show what he's going through, but also the paneling, which I really like.
Yeah. As far as the story goes, I think there's different levels of relatable, like how relatable it could be. Like I think for everyone it'll be relatable for the sense of like not living in the past. I think everyone can relate to that because that's what the story touches on kind of at the end. It's like him realizing that he can't be, like thinking about why his dad disappeared his whole life, how it happened, why it happened. Um he's got to focus on cuz he's about to be a father of his own. He's got to focus on his life. But then there's like more niche ways it could be relatable, like his father was an alcoholic. So, if you had that, you can relate to some of the story moments here, I'm sure. So, yeah, I think overall it's very relatable just in the sense of like not living in the past, but there's other parts like I said like with the dad being an alcoholic and other things that I feel like other people can also relate to
Yeah,
and get something out of.
yeah, just like what you said, like even if you don't relate verbatim to like what he's going through, you can still have like a sense of like empathy to
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
that he's going through, and like what other people that whoever's reading might know that's going through that like type of scenario, stuff like that.
Yeah,
What
cuz it's
else?
really it's really like touching at the very end. He's like going back to the night his dad died,
Hmm.
and he's like with the kid version of himself, and the kid version's like trying to go find his dad, like, no, he's gonna pick me up, and the adult version's like you're not gonna find him. That part was super sad, but
Yeah.
it was really well done. And yeah, just
Yeah. That whole like sequence with like basically him trapped in that town, him trying to like leave town, but it's just like a loop going around and around and around was like really well done. No one's there. Not even, he also mentions, I think not even the seagulls are there, which are like always there. And just him like, I like how they transition from himself to either him being his father or him being his younger self talking to his father, which I really like. Is kind of like that kind of adds more heart to what he's feeling and like what happened and all that stuff. And what really is like set in stone is like he realizes why his dad went away. Uh, he gets drunk at the bar, and before all this happened, he his dad's supposed to pick him up from hockey practice when he was a kid, and his dad got drunk at the bar and totally forgot him, and he had to walk like I don't know, a really long time to go to the bar to let him know, like, hey, you were supposed to pick me up, and he's like super pissed with his dad, and the dad wanted to give him the little pocket watch
yeah.
because that's like the whole theme in this story is like the pocket watch, getting that pocket watch, uh, basically by any means necessary for Jack, and he throws it in the ocean. A couple of days later, his dad gets drunk again, goes in the water to try to retrieve the pocket watch, and so Jack makes himself think that he's responsible for his father's death because he threw the pocket watch in the water, and he tries to go grab it, but obviously it didn't happen.
The story's really good, and in the beginning parts, I didn't know if it was gonna have like a profound message. I thought it might just be a trippy story because like
Yeah.
he's like hearing things while he's doing the
Hmm.
underwater welding. He's like seeing things. I was like, oh, maybe this is just like a trippy
Yeah.
like story, but definitely has a really good message. Um, you don't even really. What's interesting is that how it ends. You don't even really get to see him do what he's saying he's gonna go do, like be a
Hmm.
father. It just kind of leaves with like him having that epiphany and like
Yeah.
going back to the real world, because I took it as like when he was like stuck in the town and like there's no seagulls, no people, that was him like basically how he just keeps living in the past. That was him like how he
Yeah.
couldn't get out of the past, and then he eventually did, but we don't even see him go back to the family, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
But
Also, it's kind of like in the same vein. Let me try to see if I can pull it up. He writes a letter before he goes off to the oil rig to find the watch. He writes a letter about saying all this stuff about himself, and then he rewrites it in the past tense. Uh, when he's in that, I think when he's in like the vacant, his like hallucination vacant town thing, and then after he goes through all that, like I would say it's like a spiritual
yeah,
journey he goes through,
spiritual journey.
coming terms with like himself, his past, and like with his basically with his father. Um, he scribbles out that he was, and then like how he is uh, a husband. He will be a father, so he's more like confident in it. He's looking towards like the future now. And what I really liked was in the final page, which I thought was really really good. That I totally forgot about when I first read it. The final page, it's him looking at his newborn child and him smiling, and then the next panel is the pocket watch started to tick. And what I got from that is, since like the whole story is about people complaining like you're living in the past, you're spending way too much time at work, and you forget about your father, like it was an accident, all this and that. And then once the pocket watch starts ticking, that's when he's in the present and like
Yeah,
present and future. Like he's looking towards the future from then on there, which I thought was like really well done.
yeah, I am just realizing that I'm stupid, and I thought that that image of I thought that was his dad and his wife look with him as a baby. I don't know why I thought that, but I did.
I mean,
But
it could
no, you're
it's,
you're right, and that's way better.
it could be
And that
it could also be interpreted in that way because it does still it does still fit in like the context of like the whole story. So it could also fit too like that.
but yeah, I like that with the clock, and it's like
Yeah,
now he's like starting to live. And I mean,
yeah,
like I said, I feel like everyone's somewhat dealt with that, like living in the past, like in
yeah,
one way or another, whether it's like as serious as like losing a loved one, or it's just like you miss the past, like So
yeah,
I
definitely.
love that aspect of it for
Yeah,
sure.
it's also like another thing that people can connect with. Your dad might not have been an alcoholic. You can also resonate with it in a sense of living in the past and getting hung up in the past. So that's also like a nice little message in the story as well, which I really liked because I relate to that too. So I was like, all right, cool. Um, yeah, I mean, that's just like that final panel was like I thought was like really brilliant.
Yeah, I did really love the ending of him like rewriting the letter, him going out on the boat, and he's like, I'm just gonna keep diving and diving and diving. He's got a lot of really good moments with his wife, with his mom. Um, so yeah, overall, just really, really good, really touching, really good message.
Hmm.
And I, like I said, I think it has layers of relatability, but it will, no matter what, be relatable in some way to everyone, I think.
Yeah, definitely. There's like a lot to relate to in this. It could be, like I said again, the an alcoholic family member living in the past, or just like the fear of just moving on, going like the fear of going out of your comfort zone too, because again he stays in that town just to be like in a sense comfortable because that's where he's always known. And I think it also mentioned how he left for a little bit, but he ultimately just like came right back because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just
it's a,
so it's really great. I also love the whole scenes where he finds the pocket watch and like this explosion of past memories, and that's where he goes on this psychedelic spiritual self journey about like everything in his life, and I thought it was really well done how he does it.
yeah, I agree.
um yeah, is there anything else you want to add uh for this amazing story?
I will say, like, it's really hard for me to like give this one a rating because like I don't know, like I feel like it's definitely 5 star, like
Hmm.
a 5 star comic, but like I also when I rate my comics, I try and do like 50% what I truly think it is and 50% personal bias.
Yeah,
And like I think this is just like really, really amazing, but and like the past, living in the past is relatable to me, but I don't know if like I don't know, it's just really hard to rate for me because I think it's like a perfect story and
yeah,
I think everyone should check it out. But it's not one that I would like personally really, really love. So, I mean, I will say like 100% unbiased, like it's just a straight up 5 star. Like
yeah,
it's it's honestly perfect. Like there's really I can't even pick a flaw. You could maybe say the art if it isn't for you. Um, but other than that, there's really no issues here.
yeah. uh that's kind of the thing when that I came into the story rereading it was because I know I read it last year and I loved it. It was like my top 10 comic of that year, and basically like of like, all the comics I've read. Um, but I try to go into it like without any bias and try to see if there's anything that I can nitpick, anything like that. And there's really isn't because I read this whole story in like a class period. I was like just tuned out like my professor. I was like reading. I was like, damn, this is good. I really can't say anything negative about this. I've given it a 5 star on League of Comic Geeks, and I will attest to that 5 star and keep it as a 5 star.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I say what I say is because like I would reread some like 3.5 star comics I've rated over this, but I know that this is better. Like I know, like this is probably one of the best comics I've ever read. Like, but I wouldn't put it up there with like some of my favorites, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Like,
no. There is a difference between like the best you've read and your favorites.
yeah.
And that's something that a lot of people need to differentiate from, because not everything that's your favorite is going to be, universally viewed as the best.
Sometimes those two can correlate.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I mean, this was really great. Like for sure, 5 star worthy, 1,000%.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
All right, that was our review of the Underwater Welder. Again, definitely check it out, you guys.
Free on Comixology.
Free on Comixology, also free on Hoopla if you have a library card as well. But it's really, really good. If you're looking for comics that don't have to deal with anything, superhero related, you can definitely check this out. It's fantastic.
Yeah, this one's more of a personal story. So if you want a little something personal, relatable, check this out.
Definitely. Speaking of superhero stuff, we're gonna segue ourselves into the next issue of the ongoing Blade series. The series is by Bryan Edward Hill, and I think the artist is Elena Casagrande. So that's going to be our next topic of discussion. I think we both said that we both liked issue number 1.
Yeah, we both enjoyed issue number 1.
What did you think about issue number 2?
I enjoyed this issue. There's not like a crazy amount of things happening. It's a bit more tame, but I thought it was still awesome. I thought the writing was the highlight here, just the dialogue between, we get to see Blade with his ex-girlfriend, and just like the way he's like talking back to her the whole time, like it's just funny. I really the highlight for me is the way the writer has voiced Blade. Like I can just hear him. I feel like he's written perfectly the way he talks. I mean, I love the part where his ex-girlfriend's like, like, where is this girl you saved? And then it just quickly flashes to, and it's like her tied up, and she's screaming Blade, and he's just like, yeah, like
she's all right. Yeah. She's fine.
Again, I think the art is good. I think it's solid. Yeah. I don't think it's anything special, but like there's some really good moments. There's she gives him this gun that like releases a demon or something, and there's like this splash page of him like in this helicopter, and every time he shoots it, it shows like the demon like killing these goons, and
he's like, damn, I love this gun.
So yeah, I had a really good time with it. I think it's some good fun.
Yeah. Basically the same thing what you said. I like the story is going pretty good. I liked the part in like so in the beginning she's like he's about to rescue his ex-girlfriend, and then he says, "Hi Tulip, we need to talk." And then like on the bottom right corner you see the guy's head completely like is from like right here upwards, completely blown off and like hollow. I'm like, damn. It's a powerful pistol.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like it's a little bit more tamed action wise compared to the last one. It upped the ante with the the getting back with the ex-girlfriend part, but it feels a lot like an 80s action movie.
That's a great way to describe it.
That when I was reading this, like just the dialogue, the action, like whatever what's happening, I was like, this reminds me of like an 80s action movie, and that's like that's a good thing.
That's a compliment. Yeah. Yeah. It's just fun. Like it's nothing serious. Like that's what I'm talking. The banter between him and all the characters is great. It's nothing serious. It's just fun.
Yeah. Have you played Mortal Kombat 11?
I've played a little bit of it. I played more of Mortal Kombat X, Mortal Kombat 10, but I have played 11.
Have you heard the voice actor who does Spawn in MK11?
Yeah,
That's the voice I hear whenever Blade is like talking. That's Blade's voice in my head. It's like the voice actor for Spawn, because I saw him. He was in this show or movie I was watching a couple days ago, and I was like, his voice sounds very familiar. And I was like, oh, he does a voice for Spawn in MK11. And I was like, okay, cool. And then for some reason, that voice is just sticking with Blade because it's like a badass voice.
yeah.
Like, I mean, Blade in and of himself is a badass. So, that's kind of like the voice I hear whenever Blade talks. It's just like that voice.
Yeah, it works. It works. Yeah, the end kind of leaves you on like a little cliffhanger. That almost felt like very like Saturday morning cartoon, like end of the episode for me. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of goofy, the ending. I feel like they're also on like kind of a side quest right now. He's helping his ex-girlfriend with like her problems or whatever that she's. So we aren't exactly getting to like the main problem, which is like this demon lady that's going to kill the world. But I don't think that matters. I mean, I don't think
Yeah.
it's really the story here. I think it's more about the destination and just like we're talking about the dialogue, the action, the 80s movie. Like it's just a good time.
It is a good time. Nothing that's fantastic, but it's not bad or terrible or meh. It's just like a good, like, nice little middle ground.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like an 80s action movie.
I did notice they addressed some. I'm sure not many people know whatever they're addressing here, but they addressed some previous Blade canon when she asks him, "What about your daughter?" And he's like, "Oh, I left her to do blah blah blah." And I was like, I bet that's some like random offshoot thing that happened in his last ongoing series, whenever the hell that was.
Yeah.
And they had to quickly address where his daughter was. Like,
yeah. I'm pretty sure we discussed. I don't know. It was I think we discussed it when we did Blade 1, where like his last ongoing was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was like early 2000s.
So they did some weird wacky thing where Blade had a daughter, and now like in this comic they're just trying to be like, yeah, she's over there, like don't worry about her.
Yeah,
she's fine.
She's doing something.
I thought that immediately popped in my head. I was like, oh, they're trying to address, for all the lore canon people that are like, wait, where's the daughter? She's all right. Don't worry about her.
She's all right. Speaking of the ending, I said that I felt the ending was kind of just like abrupt. You said it was like a cartoon cliffhanger, which fits what I felt with the ending. So I do see that.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, I've always been a little like over the whole the good guys getting possessed thing. It looks like that's what's going to happen in the next episode. It looks like Blade's going to be like possessed by this guy and like fighting his ex. And so, I mean, I don't love that trope. Like, I feel like it's really overdone, but I'm sure it'll be okay.
Yeah. That, I mean, I do feel that, where I'm afraid it might go to like the cliche type of like comic book story arc. I'm hoping it doesn't. But I don't know.
If he gets possessed, I hope it's just, resolved in the next issue. I've seen a couple of the solicitations. I know eventually Doctor Strange is going to be in this series.
Okay.
I think Dracula is going to be in the series, and I think they maybe team up, even though they're usually enemies.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of faith in the future of this series. I think it's just going to continue to be like, while nothing profound or like, crazy, I think it's just going to continue to be a fun time. Some good art, some good dialogue, some good characters.
I mean, it's just a good time overall.
Yeah.
But yeah. What do you think about that like the master guy that the Blade's ex-girlfriend goes to, like that like, is immortal or whatever?
The guy
Like
with the tongue.
yeah. I was like, oh, all right. I know we kind of already talked about it, like the tongue possession thing. But I was like, oh,
Yeah, seems like another typical 80s villain. He's in like the Japanese fortress. Like he's
yeah,
he's got the weird tongue superpower, you know.
yeah,
I feel like he'll be dealt with pretty quick because he's, like I said, he's not like the main villain of this. He's kind of the ex-girlfriend is like a, a problem she's been having, or a debt she hasn't paid. I don't remember. But
yeah,
I think he'll be dealt with pretty quickly.
yeah. I feel like there's gonna be like that whole like arc of it's gonna be like a little filler thing until like the main stuff picks back up. But
I
we
think the most important character we don't know anything about is that girl he had locked up, because at the beginning of at the end of the first issue, she basically tells him, like you killed the one person that could kill this demon lady and the weapon that was needed to kill her. So she's kind of probably got all the answers of how he's going to kill this demon. So yeah, it'll be interesting to actually
unpack everything.
Yeah.
All right. So, Blade issue number 2. What would you rate it out of? Is it 5?
I'm still gonna wait to give my official rating until the whole story arc is out, till it's like in that first trade.
Okay.
But I will say, like, from these first 2 issues, it's tracking towards a 4-star, I think.
Yeah, I agree to it. I'd probably give it a I'm in the middle between like a 3.75 or a 4.
That's where I'm at.
I could flip flop depending on how everything goes. I mean, like you said again, I kind of want to review it once like the whole arc is, started and finished. So, as of right now, 3.75 for me.
I'm right there with you. I'm just really bad at ranking single or rating single issues unless they're kind of like a one shot, because like I just don't typically like reading just single issues. I like reading them in the completed format. I just thought, not that I'm not glad we're doing this. I think this is really fun, like to actually be reading and reviewing something that's coming out, especially for a character like Blade, where like, he's a very, very, I don't want to say not known character, but he's not high up on the Marvel totem pole. So I'm still really glad we're doing this, but I just typically don't like rate single issues.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how, because the people on League on Comic Geeks, they like rate like every issue they read. I'm like, I don't know how they can do that. Like, I don't know how. Like, there's like a lot of things that I put into like the rating, like the whole story, not just like a part of the story. I don't know.
I feel like those are, I feel like those are people who, for most of their life, have been the people that pick up single issues like every Wednesday, every time new comics come out. They're the people that, I'm sure you've seen like TikToks, people like, I got my big stack of books, like and that's just how they've read them. That's just not how I've read them or enjoy reading them. But yeah, like you said, more power to them. Like, yeah, for sure. That's just a different way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, even like there's like a lot of stuff I want to read right now that's coming out, but I don't want to, collect all the issues, read them, bag and board them. Like, I don't want to do all that.
I'm already thinking of like, maybe once this whole Blade run is finished, or I don't know, of just giving them all away to somebody. I mean, I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Like, hey, here's an entire Blade run for free. Read it. So I'm thinking of maybe doing that, because personally, like, I don't want to keep them. Not that I'm not enjoying it, but I like to keep my single issue collection very personal, very, just exactly what I want. So
Yeah, I feel that. Like all the single issues I have are like keys, uh, just like personal keys that I want to have. Like I know one of them is like a minor key, but still one that I was super excited to get. It was I think it was a Forever People one. It's the first mention of the anti-life equation.
Oh
I
yeah, you
saw it.
showed that one off.
Yeah, I was on a Comic Con. I was at a Baltimore Comic Con, which I'm going to tomorrow. I
Ooh.
totally it was like yesterday or 2 days ago. I totally forgot it was this weekend. So I was looking at my phone. And I got a notification like get ready for Baltimore Comic Con the 8th, starting the 8th. I was like, oh, I totally forgot. But yeah, I will be going to that. I'll be recording. I'll record and edit a vlog that I'll post sometime during the week. Probably Sunday. I'll post it on Sunday. But yeah, nice little Baltimore Comic Con haul / little vlog thing.
Yeah, we'll have to
Um,
talk about it on Monday. That'll
yeah,
be cool.
absolutely. So I'm excited for that. I don't really have a specific list on what I want to get because usually when I have a list on my notes tab on my phone, 9 times out of 10, if I'm lucky, I get one thing off my list and like five other miscellaneous things. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, dude,
So
that's awesome.
I know. So I'm excited to see what kind of stuff they got. And yeah.
My recommendation would be today just post on League of Comic Geeks like, is anybody going to Baltimore Comic Con? Because I did that for Tampa Bay and found a couple people that were going.
Okay.
So then maybe
That's
try and
cool.
meet people if you want. Like, be like, yo, I'm going if anybody's there. So
Yeah,
so yeah,
definitely. Alrighty. So Blade issue number 2. We got it. Reviewed. It was solid.
solid.
Um I feel like when the story arc ends, then we can properly rate it.
Yeah.
Or like once
I
like a
have I have the trade pulled on my pull list on the Comic Geek. So right when it comes out, that's when you're able to rate it.
okay.
So yeah, once I think it's issues 1 through 5 are in that trade.
Okay.
So that's probably the story arc. So
Alrighty. So all right. Sounds cool. So that's our review of Blade issue number 2. Now we are going to do the wheel of comic book movies.
yeah, here we go.
Let's see. All right, cool. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Let's see what it lands on.
I can't see it.
Ant-Man.
The first Ant-Man. Okay.
Alrighty.
The first Ant-Man.
So, I mean, looks like for Monday, when we record on Monday, post it next week, we will be discussing the first Ant-Man. So that will be interesting. I do
Exciting.
have some opinions on Ant-Man. So I'm excited to share those.
Okay. I haven't seen this movie in so long.
Not really.
I
I
haven't
think the
seen
last time I saw it was like the last time I saw the movie was like I was doing a movie marathon with my friends before Infinity War. So I think that's like the last time I saw it. So it was a while ago.
I haven't seen this movie in forever.
Alrighty, so that was our episode for today. Cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to discuss while we're still on here?
I am very, very soon about to start streaming, probably within the next week or two. I've been rearranging stuff. I just got a new TV stand, so I've been like building
Nice.
stuff, moving shit everywhere. So,
Alrighty.
but once that's done, I'm gonna get going on that, and then I was supposed to upload the giveaway yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Things, yeah, like I said, I've just kind of been all over the place. I had to move all my Omnis to a different spot, and so because I'm gonna give away some omnibuses. I haven't even decided which ones yet, but I am gonna post that very soon. So be looking out for the new giveaway, and yeah, I gotta go ship some giveaway stuff out today.
Alrighty. Sounds great. And where you can find out our giveaway stuff, definitely check out our Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I have to the mandatory plug for Threads.
Yes.
I haven't used Threads at all.
The threads.
If you want to check out us on Threads, more to you, go ahead. But mainly check us out on TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. I try to go on there every day, even though it rots my brain. A lot of people have really interesting things to say on comic Twitter, so
Yeah.
it's very interesting. But yeah, definitely check us out on there at Comics RTW, YouTube, and obviously on Spotify where you're listening to this right now. Comics Run the World.
Oh wait, let me actually show one more thing.
Oh, okay.
I gotta show you something I got.
Alrighty.
This just came in.
Alrighty. Oh, dude, Spider-Man 2 controller. That's
Got the
so
controller.
sick. That's awesome. Damn. I need to get PS5 soon, man.
My friend just got the Spider-Man one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it comes with the controller and the faceplate, the Spider-Man faceplate. The faceplate sold out, but I wanted the controller more anyway, so.
Damn. Yeah, the controller's sick. Lucky. Oh, man. Are you guys be streaming Spider-Man 2? Or just playing casually?
Hell no. Dude, I've told a lot of my friends, I was like, when that game comes out, you won't see me for like 4 days. Like, I will be enclosed in my living room on my couch, and I will not be talking to anyone. I will not be.
I respect it. I was the same way with when Ragnarok came out. I was just like, I told my professors, I'm gonna need an extension on these like few assignments because I'm not gonna be available. And
I was the same way with Ragnarok, dude.
I binged the shit out of Ragnarok, and it was amazing.
Yep. That'll be me with Spider-Man 2. I'm gonna platinum both the first 2 games before. For streams, I'm gonna start out with some retro games, some like original Xbox games, some just random comic book games. But I eventually will stream the Spider-Man games, like for sure. I'm gonna beat every comic book game ever.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm excited.
Ever.
Are you gonna do like a wheel for see which game, or you'll go in chronological order by like what day they were released?
I think I'm gonna do a mixture of things. I'll also like if I don't know, like say a new Spider-Man movie's coming out, I'll play some Spider-Man games so I'll try and maybe line it up with like movies that are coming out. If there are no movies coming out, maybe I'll do a wheel. So yeah, I'm gonna mix it up.
Well, I'm excited for that, and if you guys are also excited, which you should be, it's gonna be streaming on our Comics Around the World YouTube channel. So make sure to go subscribe to there. And again, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter at ComicsRTW. If you want to join League of Comic Geeks, join. I mean, it's a great time. You can log all your comics, see all your stats and everything. I think the Pro is only like $1 a month. So you want to go Pro for League of Comic Geeks? If you have like $1 to spare every month, do that. It's great. Yeah. And you can have like discussions with like different guys on there. Guys and girls, everyone,
True.
So I mean, it's a great time. I always post I try to be professional with my reviews on the Comic Geeks for whatever I read. So if you want to check out, my review on it, you can go check it out. You can go also check out Frankie. You are Frankie AM, right, on the League of Comic Geeks?
That's me.
Alrighty, and I am Orion Scott on Comic Geeks via my old, online persona, if you will. But yeah, if that's everything, we will check you out next time when we review Ant-Man, first Ant-Man. And remember, the comics run the world. Bye-bye.